Hello, hello. Hello. Just double checking. Screensaver. What's up, Shrapnel? How's it going? Yeah, I did say yesterday that I might actually consider streaming just a little bit of work process for creating a custom character in World of Horror. It's not that difficult actually. It doesn't usually take me much time if I'm just focusing on it, but it'd be kind of interesting if I actually do this on stream and show you how I've actually got everything set up. Yeah, I mean, I think I was gonna start doing some work for a mod for David from Mirrors. I've actually got some stuff ready for it. A couple of screenshots taken from Mirror. I need a back shot, so I just picked a generic guy wearing a shirt. So I'm gonna use that. I've just got to figure a few things out though. We'll probably start with the portrait because that's going to be the most tricky bit, especially trying to get the shape of the face correct. We'll see what happens though. But yeah, it's not too difficult making a sprite for World of Horror. Actually, you just need to learn the basics of what was it, 1-bit 1-bit pixel art, which is basically just 2 colors. Which actually is a really good way of learning how to do proper pixel art, because since you're only focusing on 2 colors, you actually need to focus more on how you shade the sprite in order to create definition, which is actually a really good way of then building up to 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, etc. colors. But I've picked an application called Aseprite, which you can get on Steam, funny enough, as well as off their official website. And it's actually really good because, as I mentioned yesterday, this application sort of behaves like a vector illustration program, which is why I'm quite comfortable with it. Because I use a lot of the likes of Illustrator, Fireworks, Freehand, things like that. So actually, drawing with this has been a lot easier than I thought it would be. Obviously, you do need some a little bit of training in how to set up some of the other parts of the application itself, but it's actually pretty good. What's up, Bender? How's it going? Yeah, we're just going to be painting tonight. Have a bit of fun making a sprite. But I'm going to try and do the portrait sprite for David, and then we'll see what happens after that. I might play something later, I don't know. I might just continue painting until I'm tired, but I do have to be up early tomorrow because I am going to watch the rugby with some friends of mine, so I'm going to meet them up at the pub for lunch first, and probably spend the afternoon with them. And then, depending on what time I get back, I might actually play something tomorrow night. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. Tonight though, let's do a bit of painting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to teach you much though, but yeah. Yeah, so for making sprites, there's actually a set amount of sizes you actually have to adhere to when it comes to World of Horror. And I actually managed to track them down the other day when I was starting this work. So there are technically 5 sprite types. Let me just turn the music down because it seems a bit loud. There are actually 5 sprite sizes that you need to actually work towards in order to create a sprite for World of Horror. So the home sprite, which is usually the one that you see in your room, is 171 by 214 pixels. You've got the back sprite, which you see in the mystery select screen. It's actually one of the biggest ones, or it is the biggest one, so that's 256 by 288. Icons are 18 by 18. That's what you usually see on the character select screen when you're clicking on the icons to select your character. It's usually the hardest one to make as well. The chibi is the little mini character that moves along when you're selecting a location, and then you're going to trigger an event of some description. 105 by 57. And then the portrait with all of its various states are 195 by 164. So those are the 5 different sizes that you have for icons and sprites within World of Horror, which is kind of easy to work towards. The other thing that you need to be aware of is that with this being a 1-bit style game, or rather 2 bits in some cases, it only really uses 2 major colors, and most of the sprites that you'll be creating are like within 2 colors. There are 4 colors actually in the palette. I actually came across a conversion mod, which let me just very quickly go grab it. But there's a sprite conversion mod that you can actually use, which will actually help ensure that your sprites actually match the color palette. There are a couple of extra colors in that palette, which are like 2 variations of purple, interestingly enough. I haven't actually seen any use for that, but I'm guessing that it's used for like individual color, because there are some character states that you have where you might want to display color, like for example I think the glass eye. On most of the standard characters, it actually replaces their left eye and you get like the blood around it and stuff. I've noticed that the blood marks are actually in red on those sprites, so that's probably what it's used for, and for other things as well. Here it is. Yeah, so this is the sprite checker. If you're following this color scheme though, you probably won't even need it. But the major colors, as you can see there, are like black, white, two shades of purple. The green actually isn't part of the color palette. However, the way that World of Horror actually determines transparency is that it looks at the pixel in the bottom left corner of your sprite, and then it uses that color as the transparency mask, which is why you see the whole thing in the background is green. It could be any color you want. It could be red, brown, yellow, whatever. As long as the color that you actually want to mask out of your sprite is actually all contiguous, like all the same shade, then it'll basically look at that color and go, okay, so that's the transparency color, and then any color, any pixel that is that color is automatically transparent. So what I've actually done in this case is I've actually exported this palette out, the one in the top left corner, as a palette file, which means that anytime I do work on like a sprite, I just load this palette file and then I've got the colors ready to go, which is quite nice. I've also set up basically flat, like empty versions of these sprite sizes, so that all I need to do is open them up in Aseprite and get straight to work. I don't have to deal with like sprite sizes and things like that, so it's all ready to go. Nice and easy. But tonight I think we're just gonna have a bit of fun. Trying to create a sprite. You can see I've actually done a couple before. But we're actually gonna do maybe not the home sprite, but let's do the Twilight, thanks for the raid. Let's do the fucking portrait sprite for David for a bit of fun. I'm gonna paste in the brush there as well if I can. Oh wait. Give me a second. I just want to grab this one from here. There we go. Copy. Put this here. Right. Yeah, so I don't need to do this because I've already done it, but I've actually defined a couple of special brushes as well. Twilight, what's up? Thank you for the raid. I've defined a couple of special brushes as well, which you can actually use in Aseprite to do like special shading. By default, when you use a brush, it's either round or square. If you're doing square, for example, let me just show you what it looks like. I mean, it's pretty obvious what the square brush looks like. It actually just paints blocks like this. It's quite nice. But if you define special brushes, then you can use them straight away. So for example, this brush here with the alternating checkerboard color scheme is defined as a brush, and then I end up painting like this, which actually makes shading a hell of a lot easier. So I've actually got different brushes for all of those. Like the single square at the top does this alternating like very light shading, and then I've got this one which is basically the inversion of this one, which actually does a much harsher shading. I think there's one more brush that I need to define, which will help with shading. Yeah, Aseprite is really good. Yes, Twilight, we're going to be modding for World of Horror because I want to create another sprite. I've already done 2. I'm having some fun with this one. So I'm not saying that I'm going to teach you how to make a custom character, but I'm just going to show you how I go about making one. So yeah, I've already set up the page dimensions for this sprite. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to import a reference layer. So I'm going to import like a graphic that I'm going to use specifically on my desktop. It's a bit of a mess, so just bear with me a second. Right, so assets. One of these. Yeah, we'll go with this one. Okay. So what this will do is it'll actually just dump this image into here as a reference layer. So all I need to do is drop its opacity and then I can start working on it. And with it being a reference layer, it's automatically going to be locked. But now we can actually start drawing. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. Yeah, Aseprite is pretty cheap. It's usually on sale. I actually got mine recently for about, I think it's like 12, 13 pounds. So it's actually worth it. Like, it is a pretty fun little application to use, especially if you want to, you know, learn to do, you know, line art and stuff like that, like pixel art. So it's, if you're learning to do it from like 1-bit style, which is what World of Horror currently uses, it's actually a good way of actually learning how to do pixel art because, like I said before, you actually have to work more with shading in order to create definition rather than color. And then you can start working your way from there if you want to do more complex pixel art. But Aseprite's pretty cool. Like I said, you can do stuff like define custom brushes, like what I've done here. The line tool as well is actually pretty useful as well. You've got the basic line tool, if I go back to standard, where basically you just click drag to create a line. But what's nice about this program, which I haven't seen in any other like pixel art program, is you can do curve tools as well in pixel art. So if I select this and then drag line, you'll think that it's just a straight line, but then you can actually bend the line automatically in order to, you know, create the proper curves for you. And then you just click it once in order to drop one midpoint and then click it again for another point. And you can do some pretty complex shapes using that, which is what I've been using to actually create the sprites on my character. The other nice thing about this as well is that it actually has a really smart fill tool as well. So most painting programs usually allow you to use what's known as a paint bucket to fill areas. So for example, if I just draw this area here and then press G for the paint bucket, I can, you know, fill in as usual. But you can actually use the brushes that you define as part of your paintbrush set. So for example, if I wanted to use like this one here as my fill, I select it as my alternate paintbrush and then press G. And when I press fill, it fills it with that pattern, which is really cool. You don't even have to worry about fucking messing around with like painting manually. You just fill it in as usual. So it's basically just texture fill. If I wanted to change like the different types of textures I fill with, as you can see, it actually does it nice and quick. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty similar to stuff like Deluxe Paint. Like I said, I've not really used pixel art like applications that often, but this is probably one of the easiest ones that I've come across so far. That actually helps me, you know, do what I need to do. And so the function is very similar to a vector illustration program, so I just basically treat it like one. Like you use Bezier curves to actually create your shapes and things like that. Yeah, Jersey Saw, you can do all sorts of stuff with this. I've actually seen like VTubers, like I think it's Amia, on YouTube actually using Aseprite for creating like PC98 and PC88 style graphics. It's pretty cool if you know how those systems actually do its graphics, like in terms of its color palette. You can actually get something very close to it. It'd be pretty cool to check some of that out. But for tonight, I just want to dick around with creating a sprite and seeing if we can actually get David somewhat close enough to you know, how he looks in mirrors, but in the 1-bit format for World of Horror. But yeah, so the process that I usually have is pretty standard for, I would think, most like artists. The way that I create a sprite is I create the lines first, and then I start filling in blocks of color using duplicates of the line art in order to create the sprites. So if I go back to one of the ones that I've done in the past, like, so, I don't know, Scooby-Doo, for example. So Scooby-Doo, like as you can see here, consists of a bunch of different layers. The key layer, though, obviously is just the line art, the standard line art, as you can see here. And then what I do is I duplicate that layer and then fill it in using just pure white for the whole thing. That way you can start to see the shape and the definition of it. After that, I create a brand new layer, and using the custom brushes, I add shading and fills to it in order to create the different shading here. And one thing that World of Horror does do as well is it actually outlines the primary sprite, so it knocks it out a little bit better. You probably haven't noticed it, but there's like a white outline around all of the character sprites. And I do that here with Aseprite as well by cloning the lines layer and using the outline tool to create that single outline. You could do this by hand, and funny enough, I actually did do it by hand the first time I made one of these sprites, like the Moai sprite. And then I looked it up, I was like, oh, it actually does auto outlines. That's pretty useful. So all I've been doing since then is doing this. The auto outlines is actually pretty neat. Actually, it saves a lot of time as well. But those are like the 4 base layers that you would use, or rather I would use to create a sprite. With the portrait, of course, you do have all the different states as well. There are only a handful of states that you can actually create for custom characters at the moment, including a handful of selectable masks, a handful of curses, low reason and low stamina states as well. So for example, low stamina, you usually see a lot of injuries on the character. So in Scooby's case, what I've done is I've changed his expression and also added like cuts and scratches across his body just to show that he's on low reason, low stamina. But on low reason, for example, they look a little bit more depressed, so I like put shading across his face and change his expression as well. For the masks, of course, they usually wear them. Like a human character would just wear them as normal. The past 2 characters aren't exactly human that I've created, so I ended up making it so that they just kind of wrap it on their face somehow. Like, you got the Ritual mask, for example, it's kind of like just tied to his face, and then you've got the Carcosa mask. Crestfallen mask, which sort of sits on his face, but he's like, this isn't quite right. Cursed signs, which is when you see like the left eye change, and then you've got the different marks across his face to show that he's cursed. Yeah, that changes that. Broken nose, in this case, I just made it look like he's got a black eye and a bleeding nose. In's mask look is related to the Shadow of Innsmouth, so the fish people. So you have gills on the character, as you can see, and then you've also got Slipmouth, which is always a bad thing to have, and Hunger, which is when you're a cannibal. But it doesn't take too long once you've got the standard character setup, of course. Pretty quick. Most of the time you'll be spending it actually just drawing out the line art, which is what we're going to actually attempt to do here. But yeah, so that's basically the process I have. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to use the curved line tool just to try and trace around David's face. It's not going to go particularly well, but I've got to try and figure out how I'm going to do this because the artwork itself is not particularly great, because I'm actually tracing a properly digitized version of his face. This is going to be what we're using, which is a screenshot from Mirrors. You can usually see where you can like start to define different lines for the face. Like you get the contours of the right side of his face, go up to the chin here, and then you draw like the back of the neck, around the ear, up to here, down the neck here, and then you would do like lines for the entirety of the hair, but you won't do each strand of hair, because what you would do for the hair is you would use like shading and maybe 1 or 2 lines just to actually show some definition. Clothing again is the same thing. You would like outline most of the clothing, but you would use shading for different parts just to get it in there. The thing we have to also concern ourselves with is that portraits usually cut off after a certain part, so I think what I should have probably done is actually take a screenshot which is a little bit taller, because if I remember correctly, with the different sprites, I remember Scooby-Doo's portrait actually cut off at a certain part when it's displayed. So where is it? Yeah, so this is the portrait here for Scooby-Doo. I remember that it actually cut off like about here, like where the collar is. So you actually don't get a big chunk of the bottom part. So you probably have to like make sure that the head fits like the top 2/3, I think, of the actual artwork. So actually what we're going to do is I'm going to change the reference image to David, because if we use him as it is, it's going to cut off where his mouth is. We actually want to use a slightly taller reference image. We're just going to have to make it up as we go down the body though. That's not a problem. I mean, reference images you can usually hide afterwards anyway, so it's not really an issue. Okay, so where is it? What I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to make it big, but then I'm going to take another screenshot, which is about this big. Say about here. Yeah, that should be fine. We'll use that one as our reference instead. Yes, I am working off my Mac at the moment. I would install Aseprite on PC, but I can't be bothered. Plus, I haven't actually set up all of my brushes and shit, so I'd rather just do it on Mac, which I'm actually kind of used to at the moment. Right, so let's grab this new screenshot. It's obviously got that shit at the bottom, but at the very least, it should be the right size for us, and then we can just put his body in afterwards. I said it's just a reference, so as long as it's the right size, we can actually work with it. Okay. Try and lock that. Yeah, they obviously, I think most people in chat will know who David is when we talk about David from Mirrors. What's up, Gabra? Yeah, it's an Aseprite stream. I've only been using this for like a week, so I'm actually still pretty new to it, but we can actually have some fun with it. Right, so we're gonna zoom in and actually start drawing the side of the head, I think. Yeah, so got to use the curve tool to get some shape and definition here. What about there? Yes, obviously an actual like human head is not going to be like strictly flat, so you've got to put some curvature into it. Might be a little bit I mean, that's the ear there, I think, so could look a little bit weird compared to, like, you know, Scooby-Doo and the Moai, because they're obviously not human characters, so you can get their proportions a little bit more crazy. But with a trace of a human, like a proper person, it's gonna look a little bit odd. But so it's just line art we're defining at the moment, so so we want to get the hair here as well. So we'll just define the hair out. It's like one bit, so we just do it roughly, and we can tidy it up with pixel brush afterwards. I mean, I could. I mean, she would be pretty funny to do, like how degenerate she is. But yeah. Anyway, what's up, chap? Just having a bit of fun here. I think this head is like not quite right. We'll probably figure it out as we go. Quickly draw this in. We'll tidy it up as we go though. It's got quite a boof as well. Almost pompadour style. Very, very curly hair, David. Yeah, it actually goes down like a kind of a mullet style he's got though. Join it up there. That. Mick Takia, what's up, Sword Fam? Defeating yokai with enemies. Yes, degenerate character for degenerate game. Makes absolute sense, doesn't it? Yeah, so we're just basically blocking out most of the general outlines for now. Get a curve in here. Yeah. Yeah, you can work very quickly here for now. I need to like bring the lines a little further down actually just to meet the bottom of the page, but I'll work that out once we get to it. Color goes to about here. You can tidy up some of the lines later. Anyway, how's everyone doing? Today, I wasn't really intending on playing anything today because I do have to be up fairly early tomorrow to meet up with my friends, but yeah, we could have some fun with a semi-educational stream. Don't know how educational it is, a novice pixel artist making another character in an Aseprite. I think his face might be a little thin though. Hold on a minute. Let me just check the actual image itself. No, it's fine. I think that's his hair in the back though, isn't it? So. I mean, we could maybe... Let me just take a closer look at this. It usually looks a bit better once you start getting shading in here. I think the chin needs to be changed a little bit actually. It's a little bit pointier, I think, his chin. And maybe bring his face out a little bit more here. Yeah, it's a little bit harder doing this with instead of an actual photograph rather than an illustration, so... Yeah, and then go to E for erase. I don't think his hair comes down that far, does it? No, technically it does, but you'll see kind of where his eyebrow is here. Yeah, it's gonna be black and white hair. It's gonna be mostly white hair with some shading in it, so got a bit of a pomp at the front though. That fringe right here, spiky fringe, like right here. You can just about see it though, like just kind of draw it in a little bit just to give the hair some shape. There. You put the parting right here as well. Oh, that's a nice curve actually, I like that. Right, so do we draw the rest of the fringe in just to be absolutely sure? Yeah. Fucking massive fringe. You see that? Hold on. Go from about here and get it to about there. Yeah, sometimes with this you just need to figure out where to start your curves at so that you actually get the right shape. Yeah, that looks okay. Although, just erase this and draw a better line in from there. Okay. Yeah, kinda. Like I said, we'll touch that up later. More the head shape I'm trying to get right here though. I might have to bring the face out just a touch more, I think, so it's about here I guess. because his face is looking kind of skinny at the moment. Bring it out just to set there. Always start with your line art first. Once you got the lines right, then the rest of it falls into place. Yeah, that looks a bit better. And you've got the other ear there, so yeah, you've got a couple of ears. I can draw the ears in as well, don't I? Technically, you can. So hold on a minute. Erase this line. Yeah, okay. Looks better. Small. Right, yeah. Yeah, I usually, well, obviously my work involves me having to draw quite a lot, so this is like really nothing new, but it's slightly different to what I am actually paid to do. So it's been an interesting like journey learning how to do some of this stuff. And what can you I'll leave that because that is cut off of that. So yeah, okay, right. I think that looks alright. Yeah. Face is a little chubby, but once we put detail in, I think it should be alright. I think the biggest trouble with this is that it's basically animeizing his face in some way. I think the chin looks a little short though. Hold on. Yeah, the chin looks a little short. Are people still shooting off fireworks outside, as I can hear? About there, I think? Yeah. Yeah, there's apparently a street party going on like down the street. I could hear like Bhangra music all day. So it's like, good god. It looks alright, but I think the chin is slightly misshapen, like, in places. It doesn't look too bad if you look at it like one-to-one, but can you hear it? Yeah, like I said, there's a fucking street party or something going on, and it's like you can hear it like from miles away. It's not very nice. Let's round off the chin just a touch. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Yeah, the shape of it looks a lot better now, actually. Yeah. Starting to get there, I think. Right, so let's put in the rest of the line details for the shirt. And the cardigan. I'm trying to work out where his shoulder goes so I can actually draw it down as well, so... Yeah, it's gone now. Like I said, a lot of the line art process is just making sure that the lines are drawn in correctly and they have like a decent curvature to them, because you can end up with some pretty awful jaggies if you're not careful. And I said it doesn't look as bad when it's like one-to-one, like in the preview. We also have to remember that the game will scale up the sprite to the size of the game window. So this being one-to-one will actually be more like 2.5 times the size. When it's actually used in-game, so you do have to be careful with that. For the most part though, once you've got the general shape of the lines in, it's actually not too bad after that. It's just the case of getting the detail in for the rest of the clothes and everything else. Like, we're not going to completely fill in all of the line details here, but there are some parts here and there that I do want to like pay attention to, because that's where I'll be shading in some of this stuff. Like, for example, here, there's probably a line that goes up to about here, but we can do that with paint, like painting in rather than actual line art, because you can still get good definition using shading as well as proper lines. Right, so say his shoulder comes to about here-ish. Yeah, I would think that's about right. It's got like very stocky shoulders. Hold on. I mean, the shoulders aren't going to be that square, I would think, right? So maybe if we just fix the shoulder here first. Just give us a little bit of option. There we go. Yeah, so you can actually zoom into like your artwork pretty quickly by pressing the number keys. And I just use 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 is usually 1 for 1, 2 is double, 3 is triple, 4 is quadruple. So you can like zoom in pretty quickly if you need to. There is a zoom tool as well on the right side, but I prefer just to use shortcuts in this case. Right, so if we bring the shoulders out to about here, we'll probably get a curve. That looks okay, I guess. Looks like he's shrugging his shoulders, but we'll deal with that once we actually start to fill it in and see how it looks. Right, so that is Cardi. My god, it sounds like someone's getting shot out there. You just give him a polo shirt then. Do the polo shirt thing. There we go. I think for line art that doesn't look too bad for now. Yeah, the shortcuts are slightly faster, I find. Like, you know, if you just want to very quickly jump to different sizes. I think that looks about right though. Obviously we're not going to be doing the the window cutout as well. I think for the most part that looks about right. And so we can get the shading on the shirt to actually give it some definition when we get in there. The face is what I'm concerned about though, so if we animeize him, it's gonna look pretty weird. Yeah, secretly New Year's, yeah. Right, so let's attempt to at least do the face. Got some pretty, let's give him some bushy eyebrows here. That looks about alright. Have to remember that eyebrows don't usually go over the hair, but in the anime world it does. Whereas it is about here. Okay. Just let the line tool make the eyes 70% of the face. Yakumino, what's up? Good evening. Someone's getting shot out there. Right, for the nose, we can use shading for it, but I think we'll at least define part of the shape. We can. In the most anime style possible. That's a big snoot. Big snoot. Actually, I'll do the ear first. Right, so do the earlobe. Oh my god, fucking people with their fireworks, man. Okay. Use shading for the rest of it. That should be alright. Yeah, that's fine. Just like that. Oops, that's close actually. Yeah. I mean, effort is fine as long as you're willing to do it, you know. I mean, it's fun for me because I'm actually learning a different skill that I don't normally use. So, for me, it's actually not a problem to dick around with stuff like this because it's fun. I enjoy it. Right. I think we're just gonna give him a single line smile. Then use shading for the rest of the lips. Oh my god. Right, okay, eyes. Let's actually do the eyes, because the eyes are going to be the most difficult part of this to do. Gotta somehow draw functioning ellipse in here. Probably have to tie the lines up as we go though. Okay. Maybe. Possibly. I think the left eye needs to be a little bit smaller though, so hold on. That could work. I have to refer to the preview as well though. I mean, that could work, I guess. Alright, so how am I going to do this? Use the ellipse tool for this. The people irises are usually solid. Where do I draw this from? About here? No, that's too tall. Up here. It's 2 by 3. Okay. What's the highlight? Is it here, I guess? Yeah, I suppose that could work. Sus Anna. Oh god, that's gonna be a lot of work. Yeah, I mean for the lines I think that's okay. So let me just have a closer look here, because I put it side by side with the actual artwork. I think that's okay. This is fine.bmp. I think that's okay, I guess. I do need to draw the back hair as well, because he's got a fucking mullet, hasn't he? So hold on a minute. Yeah, so once that's actually drawn in, I think it might look about right. And then once we put the shading in, it should be fine as well. So it's about here that it's drawn. Because it's not quite straight as it goes down, so you do need to create a couple of lines. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah. She probably goes down a bit further. Hold on. Because this does. Yeah, you can see that it goes down a bit further. So up there. Yeah. Shoulders are a little shruggy though. A little bit high. I don't know. I think that's fine. Check. That's the face. He's not very concerned, is he? Yeah, it's fine. I mean, we might not even call him David, we might call him Shaggy. Goes well with the Scooby-Doo. Yeah, the nose, I don't know. It might be a little bit thinner, actually, looking at it. Yeah, it looks like he's got a pretty big snoot, but it's actually very thin. Like, straighter. So it probably comes a little bit straighter down, so let me see. Oh, hold on, it's about... Okay, about... Yeah, it's about... Yeah... Maybe a shorter bridge. Yeah, it's probably a shorter bridge. That's better. That looks a bit better. Yeah, I would say that's a bit better. I think the rest of it is all shading on his face, though. How much Doom does this? Scooby Snacks, though. I mean, in game it's more like it reduces cost of items by 1, but it's funny that you can't put like custom items in yet. I did have a look around, actually. You can still put in custom mysteries and events, so that might be something to explore in the future. For now, though, I'm just having fun making characters. Right, okay. I think I would say that the line art looks okay for now. Once we start putting color and shading in, that's when it starts to get more interesting. Shoulders, I think, a little too high, I guess? No, that's fine, okay. Right, so let's call that there. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this and then call this PNG. And this is where we start filling in some of the color. So, back of the hair. No, for the jacket I want a brush. Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Alright. Actually, no, wait. Do we want a black for the jacket? Yeah, black for the jacket. Okay. So go back and change your brush. You have to also remember that if you're using a pattern brush and you want to fill in solid, you actually have to go and select the solid brush instead. Oops. I mean, that could work. You never know. Might be an idea. Right, so start filling him in black and white. It sort of looks alright so far. Oh god. Right, new layer time. It's time to put in some shading. Right. This is where you start using brushes for different things. Have a look at the actual image. We'll start with the neck area first. Neck and clothing area. So we put like shading that goes here. Black there. And let's have a look at the actual. Pretty dark, and then it thins that up. Yeah, this is where you start using painting techniques for some of the different bits and pieces here. Yeah, that looks alright, yeah. Right, so here you've got this little dark bit that goes like this. Okay, need the darker brush here, so it actually comes down to about here. It might actually be better to do this with a solid brush actually. A little bit higher than that. Okay. Right, so kind of like that by the look of it in the photograph. Yeah. And then he's got a little bit in the collar here where the neckline is, so here. Yeah, I think this is David going up to the bar to ask for a drink and he's about to get ID'd as well. Excuse me, mate, you got any ID? Yeah, that looks alright. And you've got the other shading that actually goes down a little bit further. I just noticed this actually goes around to the collar here, so... Was that Metal Gear? I think it was. Metal Gear! Right, so it actually comes down to about here. Side. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that looks alright. Some shading in the neckline there. You don't have to be like perfectly accurate with the portrait, because portraits are usually much flatter in the game. But we're just doing it this way for now, just to see what it looks like. Then all the layers I've got are set up so that if I don't want them, I can just very quickly delete them if needed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there's a little bit of dark around the neckline. Switch to darker brush. You use a solid brush with it. Yep. Do that. Do texting. Yeah, that looks alright, eh? Yeah, Chibi David is gonna be a little bit weird, yes. That's fine. What's up, batteries? How's it going? Yes, we are currently painting David. So far it looks okay. Some shading on the collar line here. We can actually put a bit of shading here. Even if you do like just a few pixels here and there, if you look at the one-to-one, it actually does improve the look of it a little bit more. A tiny little bit of shading here and there does help a lot for this kind of pixel art. some of the back color as well. So there's some of the back color here. Yeah, that's okay. The face is gonna be interesting though. Not sure I'm gonna handle doing the face. It's more the just around the bridge of the nose that I think we need shading for, like around about here. Probably use like the light shading brush, like this for example. I think he's got very bad acne right now. Yeah, that's okay. I think you need a huge amount of shading on his face. You need, like around the cheek. Very anime face. On the side of the head down here as well. To the neckline, a little bit more of the neckline here. Careful with the brush that you use for this. Hey G, yes, I use Asaprite. It's not bad actually. It's not bad at all. Starting to look a little bit better. Face though, heavily anime face. You should probably put some like shading on the lips here just to give that some definition. Maybe not like that. Yeah, that looks okay though. A bit on the chin as well. I think the left eye looks a little bit out of shape though. Maybe. Got a polo shirt on. And there's a little bit of sharper shading there. I don't think we need too sharp of shading there. Do the hair then, I guess? Kind of. Right, so sharper brush for the that. Right, so the hair from yeah. This is trackpad painting, by the way. Not using a mouse or anything at all. I'm actually using a trackpad right now. I don't know, because I've got so used to drawing with trackpads and shit that it's not really a problem. Doesn't look right, does it? Yeah, I think it comes up a little bit higher. Yeah, it comes up a little bit higher. It's actually around about here. You can just erase a little bit to get rid of some of those. Yeah, the eraser actually takes the shape of your last brush as well, which is quite handy. I use a trackpad all the time because I use a Mac all the time, so it's not really that new to me painting with a trackpad. It's not like the most, it goes up a little bit higher, doesn't it? So it actually comes up around here. It's not really too difficult though. Right there, I think, yeah. Got a few erasers here. There we go. Probably line out the rest of his quiff actually. Let's get that in there. So it's starting to get there. I don't know, I might actually change it from a black cardigan to a textured cardigan because it looks a bit too black, I think, his outfit. His eye though, there's something about his left, the right eye that doesn't look quite right to me. Yeah, it's just an art stream. Instead of just messing around making some sprites, or at least attempting to make some sprites for World of Horror. You're just drawing in some things here and there. Yeah, I actually might shrink the eye just a touch. Right, so white eye. Oh, that's a bit better, actually. Not quite. Probably need to shrink it a little bit more from that. So... People needs to be shrunk a little bit. Eyes are hard, you know. It's interesting because it looks like he's got a droopy eye slightly on that side. Might just be the shading though. Might have to repaint that a bit. That's actually a bit better. Looks like he's got a squint. Oh, shit. Oh, fucking... Yeah, I mean the right eye is supposed to be a little bit smaller than the left eye for perspective, but yeah, that might look a little bit better actually. Hold on. Yeah, so it's a little bit smaller. Yeah, that looks alright, I think. Yeah, that looks okay. Check. Yeah, need some getting around the face, I guess. Right, so shading on there. Yeah. Right, one more thing to do. Just give him his lips a little bit more definition, I guess. Not like that, though. How can we do this? It looks kind of weird when you do that, though. No, probably use white for this. Oh yeah, that's about the shading layer. Get rid of that actually. It looks kind of funny. No, I'm okay with that actually. It looks alright. Maybe a little bit more shading to the side of the nose. Actually, that looks better actually too. Yeah, I'm okay with that actually. That looks alright. Ease music, yeah. Should we shade the rest of the heron? I mean, it looks like he's just got white hair. Could do. Switch to the solid background layer. Parodius. That looks okay. It does look like he's got a towel on his head, yeah. That's the only thing about realistic hair. How did they do it on World of Horror though? Hold on. Oops, that's not how you spell characters. On World of Horror they make the characters have just jet black hair. Which I guess could work. The only problem is that if we have jet black hair then it makes it a lot harder to do the hair in the back, unless we do like some kind of fancy shading. Yeah, so all the characters on World of Horror itself actually have just pure black hair. I mean, let's try that very quickly. Let's see what he looks like with pure black hair. It's gonna look maybe a bit weird, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of like it when he's got some shape to his hair. If we swap this... Shit. Maybe if... I don't know, it's kind of tricky to work out what to do with the hair though. The only thing you could do is to actually just fully texture the hair then. Not in black though, like that. Hmm. But preferably not in that shade, maybe. Perhaps we make it this texture? Maybe if we make it this. Yeah, maybe. How to get the highlights in is another matter though. Maybe white lines? Hold on. Do it this way. It'll be a bit awkward to do though. Right, so... Okay, so... What we're doing this way. You have such funky hair, David. Nah, I don't know. Looks like he's got the Nike swoosh in his hair. I don't know, I'm not too sure about that. Fucking blonde hair though. I'm kind of okay just leaving it as it is though. Yes. Maybe if I change the shading in the back to actually be a little bit lighter, it might work out a bit better, I think. Yeah, let's try that actually. I need to switch to solid Let's go with a slightly less solid version. White. Gotta reline some of this as well. Hold up. Gotta paint manually then? Yeah, paint manually. Watch out for here as well. Chin stops there, does it? Yeah. fireworks monkeys outside. You give them one day to have fun and they basically take the piss for the rest of the month. Right, let's refill this with a texture. With a slightly darker texture then. G. Oops, shit. There's a texture break somewhere. Maybe the darker brush? I think I'm just gonna leave it in black actually. Reset it all! I don't know, I think I'm okay with it that way, to be honest. But it doesn't have to be perfectly textured. I think I'm fine with that, to be honest. Yeah. It looks alright. So the thing with you know, the 1-bit characters is that there's not like a huge amount of detail on them anyway, so I don't think this is too bad. It's about okay to me. We're gonna add some sus look to him at some point, don't worry about that. And I'm just trying to get the look of him somewhat alright compared to the photograph style. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Maybe add a little bit of shading here and there in the hair again. Just a few places where I'd actually want to do this. A little bit here, I think. So there's a bit there. Bits here and there on the hair. And it goes down to about here. That's a bit better. I'll actually put some lines on here as well to draw out the hair a little bit more. Clubers, what's up? I mean, the problem is you can't actually put in custom sounds just yet, so when the day comes that we can add custom sounds to the game, then yes, we are at some point. For now though, I think this is custom characters just fine for now. Eh. Yeah, the front of his hair is pretty tricky to do, but give him the Cloud Strife look. Give him the Cloud Strife look, yeah. I mean, I'm reasonably okay with that. Like, tracing a photograph is way harder than actually tracing, like, illustration line art. So I think that's okay. I think there's maybe a little bit here and there that I can just improve on a bit more. I think there's a bit more shading just around this cheek here. Around right here. Brush, thank you. Yeah, the shading does a hell of a lot more in the original one. I mean, it's pretty clear because this does have like a lot of contour shading. Again, though, you also have to remember that the artwork in World of Horror is supposed to be like much flatter. Like if you look at the character list on the wiki, which I posted before, you can see all the different character portraits, and you can see that their face is like much flatter. There's like very little shading on them at all, which makes it a bit harder to define. I mean, I think the biggest issue here is the eyes. If we do like very simple eyes for them, then I guess it could work. For now, though, I think that's okay. It might be that the left side pupil is not big enough, probably. Bring this out like a bit more. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Like it's actually perspective now, because now it actually looks like one eye is like smaller than the other due to perspective. That seems a bit better. It's like slightly anime eyes though. That looks okay. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. I mean, that's something to work on, but I can probably start working on some of the other parts as well. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just very quickly duplicate this and create the outlines. Yeah, so with the outlines, what you want to do is create a duplicate of your line art and then go to, where is it, Effects, Outline. Oh, it's because it's hidden. Right, so Effects, Outline, and then change this to white. And straight away you get the white outlines which you see on character sprite. Is it locked? Oh, that's fine. Wait, why is it not showing up? Okay. So change it. Then that way I don't actually have to make the outlines myself. There we go. Right, it's looking a bit better. Now then, the next thing to do is the character states for the portrait. And I'm gonna group all of this stuff together first. 1, 2, 4. Layer group. Or I can just hide them if I need to. Good. Can I change? No, I can't change the opacity of the whole group. I can only change it layer by layer, but that's fine. Right, so we'll start with low reason, which is like the easiest one. Yeah, so for low reason, they usually have like shading around the eyes to make them look more depressed. It's just kind of easy to do. You just use like the shaded brush, draw around the eyes. It probably changes expression just a tiny bit, like make them a little bit sadder, I guess. And then you just like paint around the eyes. Yeah. One of the easiest ones to do. Oops, went to the hair by accident. So be careful with that. radio station's got some good stuff on it tonight, though. You're listening to Gyusabu, which is a Japanese video game music streaming website. As usual. Only some good stuff on it. Here as well. Square off. There we go. Yeah, it actually changes expression, though I need to paint over certain parts of this. It shouldn't be any darker than that because it will obscure some of the details on the face bender. I think this is fine. This is the texture that's usually used anyway. There is one other brush that we could technically use though, but I need to create that brush very quickly, so give me a second. Yeah, so to create a brush, dot textures here, 1, 2, space. I've already got the. I think we should be alright for brushes, actually. I don't think I need any more. Just a bit above the eyebrows. Oh, you mean here? Yeah, that could work. So, normally I don't like shade too much for this. Need to work out the right place. Here should be okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't do it. I said it's if you make it too dark, then it starts to obscure a lot of details around the face. Looks kind of hilarious though. Also, the I'm not too keen about the way that the hair's done. Actually, hold on a minute. Let me just change this. I'm always going to be going back to the hair because fucking it's just something about it that bugs me. Too many. For now, just leave it. Okay, that's fine. Right. Still off that. Yeah, low reason's okay. Actually give him some scars now then. New layer. Low stamina. Right, so for low stamina he needs to actually have some scars on his face. Cuts, bruises, things like that. Obviously his smile is not going to be there though. Probably it might be easier to duplicate this for the smile change. So let's delete that one and duplicate this one. So you need to actually erase a few things as well. So you can make the brush about 6 just to be a bit bigger. No stamina. Oh, the face. Okay. Right, so brush. Right, so we need to make some lines here. And a big scar on the cheek. And sometimes you don't need to make like a huge line. Like that looks about right for a cut. There's a big one on the forehead as well. Kind of infer quite a lot just by smaller details. Funny mirror's blood face. Yeah, I mean we're kind of getting there. Just starting to put in some of the details now. Big gash on his neck as well. Don't really need to do too much though. Give him a black eye. Yeah, so do a few blood droplets. Yeah, that's okay. I think with low reason and low stamina you can have them both at the same time, so as long as they don't interfere with each other it should look alright. Looks kind of funny now though. Yeah, okay with that. Instead, thing is you can tweak a lot of this as well though, so let the layers palette go. Whatever. As you go you can tweak a lot of this as well though, so yeah, okay. Right, so what's next? Next. Custom character. Let's grab the list. So low reason, low stamina, ritual mask, Carcosa mask, Crestfallen mask, broken, cursed signs, broken nose. Let's actually do the curses first though, because they're usually the more interesting ones to do compared to the masks. The masks are like much more. You still need to draw a lot more for those. So we'll start with cursed signs. So cursed signs usually has an inverted left eye with some strange marks around his eye. It's going to be interesting to draw this. So an inverted eye would look. I think just leave him smiling is enough. Right, so put the other marks in. The other marks, they don't actually have like a proper layout for the different eye marks on cursed signs. So you can basically make it up as you go along. Yeah, because oops, hold on, that's PNG. So yeah, so cursed signs looks like this. But all the different characters have different marks around their eyes. And as long as the left eye is like sort of inverted. I mean, Kyria actually has a completely white left eye though, so whereas most of the other characters just have either marks around their left eye or like a fully black eye with a white pupil. Ooh, quite a lot there though. I think most of them have like a shading around the face as well. That might be. So hold on, so let me do this. Some shading around the face. What can I put on the eye? It's just Miku that has it on the right eye, that's interesting. Oh, it's because the left eye is like partially obscured. Yeah, the signs themselves are kind of weird though. So let's draw a few lines here. Oh, that looks kind of cool. Right, so yeah, probably draw one going over this way. It's kind of hard to actually get some detail when you've not got like a lot of stuff to work with here. Make his eye bigger as well, actually. Hold on. It looks like if actually give it a much bigger size. Oh, that looks good. Actually, yeah, I like that. Oh, that actually looks pretty good when they make it bigger. All-seeing eye. Yeah, that looks alright. It does actually go into the hair though. Hold on. Yeah, it looks good. I think that looks alright. It looks a lot more unsettling though now. And you could make the actual highlight a lot bigger. You want to put more marks on his face? I feel sorry for David now, like we're just abusing him. Yeah, it's supposed to be cursed marks, isn't it? Put a few more on there. That looks alright. That actually makes me want to get cursed signs now. That looks okay. I'm alright with that. Yeah, okay, so we'll roll with that. Right, so the next one is... Oh, broken nose. How the hell am I going to do that? Broken nose is pretty tricky to do, actually. See how they do it on the other characters. Broken nose. Usually it just looks like they've got a bloodied nose. Oh, that works. That's a bit easier to do. Yeah, so for broken nose, all they've got is like a bleeding nose, so... Although you could probably give them a black eye just to make it look like they've got a shiner. Yeah. Create a new layer. Broken schnoz. You're gonna make him not smile first. Draw the line there. Come on. Paintbrush this thing, stupid. Right. Yes, I think maybe giving him a black eye, at least one black eye should be enough as well. A little bit of blood here and there actually. Put that around the blood. And then let's give him a shiner, shall we? Particularly big shiner. Yeah, how's that? How does that look? That looks alright. Fucking sus Anna causing David any amounts of problems. I think that looks alright. Probably give just a tiny bit of shading up here as well. Hey. That looks about right. David's going through the ringer, unfortunately. The King of the North approves. Oh god. Yeah, that looks okay, actually. I'm still trying to think of what perks to give him. You guys could probably come up with some ideas, because these are the perk packs that you're allowed to use on characters. You can only pick from like 2 sets. I think I might have an idea of what I would use, but I'm sure you guys can probably think of something as well. It's quite a lot there though. Like every character has access to 2 of these perk sets. So it might be kind of interesting seeing what people think you might need. Right, so In's mask look is going to be easy. That's the gills on the side of the neck. So David's going to be a fish person now. Fish man, right here. So we need to give him 2 gills here. And this one's pretty easy though. New layer. In's mask look. In's mask. How long have I been on for? 2 hours. That's actually not bad for an art stream. I did start pretty early though, so I've got plenty of time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the rest of it though, because usually the portrait takes up the most. Charisma based and some hit. Yeah, I was thinking charisma is going to be his highest stat, and dexterity as well, because if you remember in the game, he actually manages to dodge somebody trying to stab him with a knife on the bridge. He's probably got some decent dex, probably got some okay strength. His knowledge is like whatever, kind of. His perception is probably whatever as well. And charisma is probably his highest stat. Luck, maybe mid, like about average. Perk packs are what are going to be the most important to give him though. I'm not sure what to give him as an item as well, because you can actually give them like items, like starting items as well. Like obviously Scooby-Doo has like you know, the Scooby snacks, the the dog treats. But I don't know if I should give him like a starting item. Broken bottle, I don't know. Ah, actually, you might be onto something there. Broken bottle might be a good one to start with. It's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah, a broken bottle might be a good one. Ancient ring as well is another one. There's quite a lot of different items you can give them though, like so. But there's like tons you can give them. You can also give them like magic as well. So there's a spell shortlist. Hold on. Yeah, so there's a spell shortlist as well. So you can give characters like one spell to begin with. I thought about giving like David the was it the Ithotu Flame? Because that would have been pretty funny. Ithotu Flame, maybe Enthrallment as well, random ally. You have to remember that it's a perk set, so you can only give them like specific sets. So if it's like Survival Instinct, then he's going to have the set that has that rather than just that perk itself. So what's his perk pack again? So what was it? Survival Instinct. Yeah, so Pushing Yourself would be the perk set that he has if you were going to give him Survival Instinct. Yeah, so you give them 2 perk sets, and they have the 2, perks within that set. So, if they give them Skilled Butcher, then they have automatically Fresh Meat and Sharpening Stone. Hounded Artist set. That could be worth it, yeah. Have a look. Hounded Artist, yeah. Morbid Inspiration. Gain EXP when losing reason. Yeah, that's David to a T. Regain reason for completing mysteries. Yeah, that works for me. Hounded Artist was what I thought of, yeah, as well. I don't know, maybe Magic Caster, possibly. Since he's a musician as well, maybe Smooth Talker, for Improvise and Fame. So there's plenty of things you can do with your characters if you're curious. That's why I like this game, because you can actually be pretty creative with how you do things. Right, so let's give this David some kills here. I think that worked out pretty well for us. A single shot. That didn't quite work out for a single shot. Straight there. Make the kills up and down. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could work. Like I said, well, the thing about custom characters as well, as you can probably tell, is that you can keep changing their perk sets if you want to suit the playstyle you want to give them, which I think is fine for this, to be honest. That looks like he's bleeding though. Hold on. Yeah, that's fine. fucking gills are kind of hard to draw on people. You'd have to shade the like the tops of them so it doesn't look like they're bleeding, and it's not easy to do there. It's fine though. Jin's mask look is kind of easy anyway, so we'll roll with that at least. I wouldn't be smiling if I had gills though, David. Slit mouth! Oh boy, okay, right, so slit mouth is next. Yeah, for these ones I don't need to draw extra like objects, so it's not too difficult to do. When we come to do the masks though, that's probably when it'll take a little bit more time to do. The slit mouth. That one so it doesn't get confusing. Here. Slit mouth, eh? Let's very quickly just see how it looks. Slit mouth still very happy, yes. Not sure if I should make him unhappy about it. Yeah, the mouth is partially open for some of them. Kind of works with me actually. Hold on. It's difficult to actually get the detail in there for that though, so let's do this. Just make his mouth like really open then. The slit mouth is supposed to be pretty gruesome, so it was quite funny as well. I was actually on YouTube, like just browsing yesterday, and I saw there's a manga which actually features the Kuchisake Onna. Like, when did that happen? Someone actually gets married to the scissor woman in the manga. I should probably check it out because it might be hilarious. Yeah, some of them show teeth inside, yeah. Let me see if I can find that video, because I think it might be kind of interesting, but it looks pretty scary as well though, so hold on, let me see if I can find it. Am I beautiful? Kuchisake Onna. And I might play Fear and Hunger at some point as well. I've got the translation, the censor patch for it. Let me see if I can find it. The thing about YouTube, sometimes the history is kind of bad. Here it is. Copy link. Yeah, I saw it, I was like, that could be kind of interesting. Also a bit of Nope as well. Yeah, so then about that. Oh god, that looks really nasty now. That looks pretty horrendous actually. Poor David. I just gotta make him bleed from the lips a little bit and we should be alright. Oof, God. That looks alright, I guess? I mean, I think maybe, yeah, you don't see the teeth that far back, so it's about there, I think. Yeah, that looks alright, actually. The slit mouth. I think that looks alright, actually. It's probably just bring it out just a touch further, just to add a bit more teeth into it. There we go. That looks about right to me. I should have been a horror manga artist. Am I beautiful? That looks pretty good. So, no slit mouth? Yes, slit mouth. Oh god, it makes me... Okay. Okay, so last one is hunger, and then we've got the masks to draw. Hunger is interesting, actually. It's cannibalism, basically. But you can do this in a variety of different ways. What I like to do with the characters in the hunger is invert both their eyes and make them grin maniacally with blood all over their mouth. Yeah, so hunger. I'll show you what hunger looks like on the wiki, actually. So hunger can, they can make it look all sorts of different ways, but commonly they've got this maniacal grin with like blood all over their mouths, and like the eyes are slightly darkened. Like some of the characters actually lose the highlight in their pupils, so it's like pure black eyes. But I'll probably add a little bit more to it just for this character. So we're going to give him like the maniacal look at the very least, with the pure black eyes, or at least larger eyes. Make these a little bit bigger. Maybe not that big. Fill them out just a bit more. And then you can probably draw like a big white circle in there. I think that's probably going to be more of a cross than anything else, isn't it? He looks more like the Joker now. There, without the actual pupil in there, that looks a lot better. Right, so let's I love it, it's great. Let's put the shading around the eyes as well. Oh, that's looking good. That's looking really good for Hunger. Right, gotta put some blood around the mouth, hold on. Because cannibal. That looks amazing. Hold on, yeah, blood on the shirt could work actually, yeah. Big blood stains everywhere. David looking kinda hungry now, eh? Now he's a proper Devil King, yeah. Yeah, this is looking good. Right, so I'm just trying to work out where to put the blood stains on the shirt then. Right, so... couple of dollops here and there, I guess. I should probably do that with the broken nose as well, actually. Considering he was bleeding from the nose. Oh, that looks amazing. Check out the sprite. That looks really good. Hold on, let me just lock this and we'll put broken nose on. This probably needs a little bit of a... some splats here and there. Yeah, there we go. I just need to take a screenshot. I'm gonna put that on Discord. Looks so good. Oh my god. Yeah, so that's all of the statuses done by the look of it. So what we got? Low reason. Right, so let's just go through this in order. So hunger. Snip mouth. That looks nasty. In's mask look, which is the gills, it's a pretty simple one. Broken nose, got a black eye as well. Cursed signs. Low reason and low stamina. So the only ones remaining are masks. We can draw those, they're not bad. There's only 3 of them anyway, so it shouldn't take long to do those. I don't know if I'm going to sit and do the other ones tonight though. I might just switch to playing something for a bit after this. I kind of want to play a little bit as well. But it shouldn't take long to do the home, the back, the chibi and the icon, like, because they're just like 4 things. There's no states for them at all. This is like the longest one to do when it comes to custom graphics for the game. Because you've got not only the portrait, but you've got all the different character states to draw as well. We'll start with the ritual mask. Okay, so with the ritual mask, it's the mask with the slit at the bottom and the dead eyes. I can talk. And the dead eyes, yeah. Ritual mask. You don't often see it though Like I said, you can buy it, but I don't see it being used that often. No, they don't give you the graphics for the masks, but technically once you've drawn them, you can use them. Because all the different characters have different masks, like different types or shapes of masks. The common shape is that it's basically like a flat mask with a cut going up the middle, but you can't actually see under that cut. Like if you look at the different character graphics, it's actually blacked out on their face. So it's either like some kind of shading underneath or like some kind of cloth underneath it, so kind of scary though. But for the mask itself, it shouldn't be too difficult to draw. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw... actually, I should probably keep the shapes different. So, I was going to draw like one shape for all three of them, but I think it might be better to have like different shapes for all three of them. What I'm going to do though is I'm actually going to drop the opacity for the main graphics currently, just so I can actually see underneath. It's kind of hard to draw without actually being able to see where the lines are. There we go. Right. Ritual. Right, so the ritual mask. It's probably going to be the first character that I've done that actually has a mask that fits on its head. Fits on his head. Because the Moai and Scooby-Doo have had masks that don't actually sit on their faces. For the most part, drawing the mask is about the same as you would do for drawing the head itself. Except you also have to remember that it gets cut off in the middle. So about here, draw like a big cut that goes up towards the nose. And from here, draw another one that goes back down. Can be asymmetric as well, and I think asymmetric looks a lot better than symmetrical. Then go back up here. And that's the general shape of it. Let's actually draw maybe a line that goes over here, and then draw a line that goes here. 3D. Trying to at least get the lines roughly the same, I think. I thought that should work. Yeah, it's variable thickness though, so that's okay. I don't want it to be like perfectly thick. Just make it look like someone's very hastily carved it from wood. So we're gonna fill in white. That's the general shape of it. The mask of the lunar eclipse would be pretty good. I mean, that's a nice thing about being able to mod a game, is that you can put anybody into it if you wanted to. Anybody, anything. I don't think there's a system for custom items just yet, but at some point there may be. You never know. Right, so I'm gonna draw a strap here. I think for the strap, I usually do it in like white first, and then I actually do it in white first, and then I actually put I think it's the checkerboard texture on it instead. It's this one. There we go. That looks alright for a strap. Right, so for the eyes, you don't actually see through the mask, so it's not like a completely see-through mask. There's also shading underneath here, looking at it as well. Yeah, so it looks like there's a bit of a chin that goes underneath the mask, and then it shades into it. So it actually looks like... oh fuck, I missed some. Hold on. Yeah, that's okay. Right, so... very quickly... Yeah. Thing is, you don't want to be like perfect, otherwise you're going to be sitting here pushing pixels all day, so as long as you've got the general idea behind it down, then it looks alright. Right, so for this, you kind of want it to be... this, and then fill this. This needs to be filled in white, and then you get a texture brush. Can be any brush. Just looking at the actual, the ones that are done for the main ones. It's largely this brush here though, like this. Let me change this. Might actually bring the line up a bit higher. Bring the mouthpiece up a bit higher, so about here, I guess. And fill it. Fill this in white. And that should give me a bit more space to work with. This is the right one, yeah. Oops, went too far in. There we go. We should probably step that a little bit, so we'll add the darker shade about here. That's better. That looks about right there. Yeah. Energy, what's up? How's it going? Good evening. Yeah, we're currently creating a custom sprite for World of Horror, as you can probably see. Just drawing a little bit in Aseprite. Just having some fun here. Do this manually actually. Right, so G, fill it in white, and then fill it with the check texture. This one. That looks good. Yeah, I mean, like I said the other day when we were talking about it, I think the PC and Mac versions are probably the best versions to get because you've got the option to mod and have some fun with them. PS4 and Switch is nice to have, like if you don't have, like, say, a Steam Deck, for example. But I think a few of us in Discord have a Steam Deck now, so you can mod the version on Steam Deck now as well, actually, if you know where the save files are. Let me just fix this bit down here because this looks a little bit off. Like, in a similar way to how you would carry a save over from PC to Steam Deck, you can carry mods over as well. Just put them in the same place and the game should pick them up, no problems. Perfect. Okay, so I want to draw like a droopy eye shape here, so yeah, because this is going to be augmented by shading. Okay, so fill those in, but now we actually need to draw some inner lines, which I can probably do manually if I pay attention to what I'm doing. There we go, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, so we have a little bit of shading around this to make the eyes look a lot more droopier. A bit around the bottom of the mask as well, I think. Yeah, I also probably want to add some shading, like to the actual main model as well when they're wearing the mask. Yeah, so the masks are generally like completely transparent when they're exported, apart from the actual graphic themselves. But anything you put on either as an override or like as part of the model will actually show up on the model itself. So shading here and there usually works. There we go. Right, so now to draw in some lines just as marks on the mask, because the mask is not like flawless, it's actually got loads of cracks and shit all over it. Yeah, a couple of curved lines here and there works pretty well. Yeah. I also have to keep checking the preview as well to make sure that it still looks about right. Put one big crack here. That looks pretty good actually. Yeah. And then with the brush, just draw a couple of small itty bitty marks here and there. Yeah, that looks about right, I would think. Yeah, so at this point you actually want to start outlining as well, just to make sure that it shows up correctly. I'll probably do that afterwards actually, we'll do that afterwards because we need to actually check the model to make sure that it looks about right as well. Shit, it's that mask. No, we'll leave the hair as it is. I mean, you could have like put some of the hair drooping over, but that's a bit of a pain in the ass to do on a model. I think that looks alright. We can do that as an additional when we actually come to test version 1 of this, once we're done with the rest of it. You said I need to put some outlines here and there just to make it match the rest of the model, but we'll do that afterwards. For now, that's the ritual mask, so let's get started with another mask. So this will be the Karukoza mask. That's the one that looks like a giant donut. Hello? There it is. Karukoza mask. Yes, this is the one that looks like a massive donut which is wrapped around with ropes. I kind of want a more circular, or at least a slightly more ovalish shape here. So let's try this. We've actually got to do this in steps. So got about here, I guess. Not like perfectly oval though, so I'm not going to make it like perfectly oval either, but somewhat close. But yeah. Right. I need to do... Right, so the thickness is going to be a bit tricky here, right? Because of the way I've drawn this. It probably comes out with that. If you make it a little bit thicker than usual. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not too bothered about it being like perfectly perfect. Maybe I might tidy it up a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, so let's just erase it around here. Just make sure the lines are somewhat close. Better. Slightly odd thickness here and there, though. So. This music though. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Yeah, that's okay. Right. Now I've got a giant hole to do in the middle. Easier to do the hole if you do it. Yeah. It sounds like Gradius music. Slightly asymmetric hole shape there. Yeah. Okay. So ooh! Oh, there's a line break there. Okay. Just a fucking huge donut. Mask I don't usually buy in game either. Toilet seat mask, yeah. Basically. It's a mask I don't usually buy in game either, so. Oops, shit. Pink is definitely not what I want. Brush, please. Thank you. Control this in manually as well. There. Oops. Toilet portal to the underworld. Magic donut. Yeah. Right, so the next part of this is to draw the ropes. There's a lot of them though. I mean, the mask isn't supposed to be this big, I don't think, but who cares? Who gives a shit? Yeah, I'm okay with that, right. So it's gonna look a little better once we actually start drawing the ropes in at least. I need at least one rope bound so that you can actually tie it to his head. There's a little trick I have to do this. Just extend that out by 1 pixel. I can actually draw another set of lines here just to make it look like the rope is actually like twisted together, bound together. want a set of ropes going around the others. Excuse me. Yeah, it's we're listening to video game radio on Gyu Sabu. It's a Japanese video game music streaming website. You guys have heard me listen to this before anyway, because I usually have it on like at the beginning of streams. So it's like not the first time it's been on. There we go. Now he's got a toilet seat tied to his head. Just like strapped to his head, yeah. That's the thing about the Carcosa mask. It looks pretty stupid, but it's actually kind of useful in game. I don't normally take it for the game though. I think it's a mask that actually has a chance to reduce, has a chance to negate reason loss by, if I remember correctly. So if you have it equipped, you have a chance to evade the a hit that would actually reduce reason. But for the most part, if you're murdering things extremely quickly, you don't even need it. So I don't tend to use it that often. I did notice though, I was playing the game a little bit earlier today. If you select quick play, it actually fully randomizes everything, including the perk sets that you see for your character. So you could possibly get perks that your character doesn't normally have, which is actually kind of cool. So like I said, once I've actually finished getting all the Chivos, I think the next time I'll play it after that will be just fully randomized for fun. Okay, that looks okay. It's a nice way to have longevity, because when I was playing it earlier today, I had Mimi as my main character, but I was seeing perks that Haru usually has. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Is Mimi supposed to have cigarettes at this point? Right, so that's this one. Try and get the lines roughly the same. Good. So switch the brush. So I just switch. You probably learn the keyboard shortcut to switch palette. That would be useful. Gonna need to make some marks on the toilet seat as well. Fucking toilet seat head. It is the dumbest mask in the game, in terms of looks. Just looks so stupid. I have to draw this one manually. Don't normally draw toilet seats this big. Might have to do this one manually. Melodious music. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Parodius Da. Have to manually fix this one. Let's come out a little bit more. Push this in white. Oops, coming out there. This one also needs to come out here. Can't imagine how much time this would take someone to do 16 color artwork on PC98. Imagine just how much effort you had to do in order to line everything up and do all the shading and stuff. And I'm only working with 2 colors and I'm already finding it quite difficult. So, 16 color pixel pushing would have been quite exhausting. I have a lot of respect for PC98 artists. They probably had like a suite of tools that helped them do it, but yeah, there's a lot of time spent just doing this. I think that's enough rubs for now. Actually, let's start putting some marks on the toilet seat just to make it a little bit edgier. A little bit of wear and tear on this thing. Okay, that should be okay. Let's brush some scuff mark. Where's the Carcosa mask? Yeah, the game is not particularly well balanced. Parodius, that is. On MSX, it's kind of funky, if I remember correctly. There's a lot of issues with it. It actually looks like a toilet seat now that I've put shading on it. Toilet seat mask. Oh. A few more scuffs here and there. Okay, I think I'm alright with that. The stupid mask anyway. Put some shading on David just for that. Shades properly when he's wearing it. And here. Yeah, we'll outline this properly afterwards. I need to bring the opacity back up afterwards to check. Right, so the last one to do is the Crestfallen mask. That should be all of the masks. So the Crestfallen mask is the sad looking one. I think that's a slot C item actually, hold on. Crestfallen mask slot C. Oh yeah, it's a slot C item. Okay, so you can actually technically wear 2 masks in the game at the same time. Right, so this one has more of a face shape. It's actually, interestingly, the Crestfallen mask isn't strapped to the person's head. When they wear it, it's just placed on it. The only thing about this mask is that the curse that you get when you take it off isn't actually applied to custom characters yet, so you can't get faceless yet, which I hope they update, because having more custom you know, statuses for the characters would be a little bit better. Actually, I should probably draw his hair on there. Nah, fuck it. Too lazy to do that. So this is technically just placed on his head, so we can get the contours right for the shape of his head. Straight line. Not there. If it sits on his face, it would be around here, I think. Right, I should probably manually draw this actually. Hold on. That's a little too thick, actually. Yeah.
8 miles from the outer marker. Cleared for IS runway 34 right approach. Maintain 3000 until established.
What the hell?
Roger.
But then... Yeah, close enough. Yeah, you can probably erase this part. Yeah, that looks good. I'm okay with that. That looks right. Thickness isn't quite right, but who cares? I think asymmetric looks a little bit better anyway. Right, why the hell is that so big? Okay. Now move this touch. Yeah, that looks better. Move it up a bit. There, that's a bit better. Right. Okay, so let's fill it. Faceless. Okay. Right, so so where are the eyes? Oh, here. A little bit higher. Where are the eyes? Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever got this mask in the game though. Crestfallen mask. Gee. Because I've always skipped out on Akamanto, like getting the other ending for him. There's the nose, and big, or hereish. Ooh, fuck. Shit. G, or here. And then the rest of it you do with shading. I think the eyes need to be a little bit droopier though, I think. And just a little bit more oval. Okay, so got the shading. Actually, the darker version of that, isn't it? So I actually need this brush for this. Oh yeah, that's much better. You can actually see the inner part of the mouth actually. I think it's the bottom part that you see more than the top though. So this brush, make the mouth just a touch bigger. Right, so almost there. Yeah. Looking good. There's a little bit of shading under the chin. Yeah. A little bit. I'm gonna give him a lot. There's this shade around the entire eye. Right. Yes. Looking kind of cool there, David. Right. The head looks a little bit off shape though. Yeah, let me just fix the shape of the head because it doesn't look quite right. From around here, borderline. Yeah, about that. Okay. That's better. Yeah, okay, so a couple of things left to do on this. A bunch of like really small marks here and there under the eyes. I think these should be much sharper. To this. Much sharper and much closer. There, that's much better. I don't think I need any around the mouth. A little bit of shading around the cheek here. Okay, yeah, I think that's okay. It's only supposed to sit on his face, like it's not actually strapped to his head like some of the other masks are. I think that's alright. Looks okay. Now let's bring the opacity of these back up. Yeah, so now I actually need to fix the outlining on some of the masks just to match the game itself. There's a little bit of additional work that needs to be done. I'm going to do this manually though, since the outline tool will actually draw on top of your sprite if you're not careful. Okay, so the crestfallen mask. I might actually erase a little bit and put it under his hair actually. We'll do that in a second though, once I've actually fixed the outlining for a lot of this. That's fine. Carcosa mask. Yeah, so I need to a little bit of outlining around here where the strap meets. And one here. Okay, so around. There we go. Toilet head. Yeah, the crestfallen mask doesn't actually have a strap. Like looking at the character art for the others, it just sits on their face. But the other masks do have like some kind of strapping or binding to their heads, which is why I'm painting on them now, so that they actually look right. That fixes that outline. Yeah, I actually might. Let me check something. I might actually make his hair come over the mask actually to make it look right. I mean, in this case, do we want to do that though? I mean, it might look pretty good. Let's try it. Let me do this with the crestfallen mask first though, because that one just kind of sits there. I'm going to drop the opacity a little bit, and then we're actually going to see where we can erase in order to get it right. About there. What can I draw to? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sweet Merchant Land.
There you go. Thank you for the follow. Right, so let's just clear up a little bit here. Now, how does that look? Yeah, that looks alright. Need to just add a touch of shading under the hair though. I'll probably only do it for this one though, for this mask. Because the other ones look fine strapped to his head. Okay. That looks alright actually. I'm okay with the other one sitting on his head though. Hunger. Yeah, I'm okay with those ones. This one definitely should be under his hair though, because that's how it's supposed to look. That looks alright though. I'm actually alright with that. The eyebrow. Oh yeah, shit. Where's the eyebrow? Oh yeah, there it is, right, so thanks for spotting that. Paint over it. Look, it's got the shaded part. There we go. Yeah. Still looks like he's got a turban on, but who cares? Who gives a shit? It does, right? I'm okay with that though. I mean, it looks a little bit more natural than fucking... I don't know. I'm okay with it, but I'm also not okay with it in a way. It does look pretty silly though. Yeah, because the other masks look alright because they're just tied to him, so... Hunger! 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 Oh, that cracks me up. Yep, Demon King. Yeah, so I think I'm okay with everything now. Like, looking at it, it looks fine. We've got low stamina, so he's a little bit injured here and there. No reason, so he's a little bit depressed. Just a bit. Cursed signs. Broken nose. With a black eye in this case. Got fish gills. You can't really tell because his neck is slightly covered up, but yeah, fish gills. Slit mouth. Oof. I think Hunger's the best one of the lot so far though. Hunger is so good though. Love Hunger. And then we've got the ritual mask. Ah, shit, I need to repaint a little bit here, hold on. Another red brush. The ritual mask needs painted on. Okay, ritual mask. Yeah, that looks better. Carcosa mask, aka the toilet mask. Now hold on, there's something I need to fix on there as well, I just noticed. And one here as well. Good. Yeah, that looks about right. Toilet mask. And crestfallen mask. There's a couple of lines that need to be fixed here as well, hold on. Very good face. Great face. I'm okay with that, that looks alright. I mean, that's about as good as we can get David's face to look compared to the photograph. Yeah, without using, like, actual proper shading in order to get, like, you know, lip definition, things like that. I think that's okay. Hair is like, it could be better, but to be honest, I'm okay with it as it is. Hair's always a bit of a challenge to do that, I find, when you're tracing photographs. Yeah, I think it's not bad. It's certainly a lot better than I was expecting it to for David. There's still a few more that we need to do, but I'll probably do that over the course of the week in order to get the mod ready. I'm happy that I actually managed to get this done on stream though, because it looks pretty good. I'm actually quite happy with it. Yeah, so let's just go back through it again. So we've got David as normal, got slightly injured David for low stamina, slightly depressed David for low reason. Cursed signs. He's certainly happy to have cursed signs, so we'll leave that at that. Broken nose with a black eye, of course. Fish gills. Slit mouth, which is pretty gruesome. I think I'm quite happy with how slit mouth turned out. That actually looks pretty good. And then hunger, which is by far my favorite face. That's so good, and even with the blood stains on the shirt as well. And then we've got the 3 masks which are available. Ritual mask, it looks alright actually. Carcosa mask, aka the toilet seat, and Crestfallen mask. The thing is, it's come out alright. Yeah, David's hair is really hard to work with though. I mean, just looking at the photograph, it's like he's got this weird coif, fucking fringy thing going on here, and like his hair's like a combination of like blonde and black, which makes it kind of hard to do. So I thought about actually having the shading like a little bit closer to each other, but to be honest, I'm okay with it looking like this. It does look like he's got a turban on though, but who cares? It's close enough. I'm alright. One thing I've always said is perfect is the enemy of good, and I'm quite happy with it being good. Like, because if I'm honest, if I was going to sit here and make it perfect, I'll be here for like the next 10 hours. And I'd rather not do that because I'd rather be doing something else. So this works out pretty well. I mean, the shirt could have like more detail, but I think in terms of the original art, it's not like the shirt had a lot of detail to begin with. And plus, we actually have to make sure that the model is big enough to actually fit on the in the game screen anyway. As long as there's enough space for everything. I think he looks alright. I'm pretty pleased with that. Yeah, the I'm tempted to make that my profile picture now. Hunger! That just makes me want to get hunger all the time in the game now. Right. It's a shame that some of the other debuffs aren't available yet though. Ah, it's better. I'm not sure what else to do now actually, because there are other graphics that we can do, but I'm not sure if I want to start from there because that's going to be a pain in the ass, this one. That would be for the home screen, this one. And then we've got the back screen as well, which will probably be this one because this is a shirt which fits in with what he's wearing. I need to like trace the back of his head and everything. I don't have anything for a chibi yet though, so I might just like steal a chibi from somewhere. This is fine though. I'm okay with this. What time is it? It is coming up to 11 actually. That's surprising. Yeah, so that's basically what I do to create a model. It's not like it's a fancy process or anything, it's just a case of making sure you've got the right source material to work with and then just using lines, the paintbrush, fill and everything else in order to get it right. A lot of the time you get a lot of your detail from shading and everything else. The line art is just there to give you a guideline of where to put the shading for the most part. You could probably do a lot of this flat. Like if I'm looking at the main artwork for the game, just making the hair black probably would have worked. But then it looks a bit weird if you make the hair black, like fully black compared to how they've done it in the game. I mean, there's a couple of places where they have highlights and things, but it's not a huge amount. but then you would have like black hair and black cardigan and then just white everything else, which looks a little bit odd to me, I think. Something to probably look at later on though if I want to actually improve this a little bit more. But after that all you do is export. Actually I can show you what the text file for the character setup is, because you actually have to set this up in a very specific way. I'll use Scooby-Doo's just to show you what I get. Scooby-Doo's. Yeah, so you actually have a plain text file. I know it's not actually a file extension, the ITO. It's just like part of the name, but it's for the game to pick up. But the text file itself is set up in a very specific way. You've got all the different parameters, then you link all the different graphics into it. There are parts here where you can actually set up bonus items, like what you start with. So you got an item, you can have them start with 2 items or 2 spells or 1 of each, or nothing if you want. You can also have them linked to very specific events as well. Like if you want character specific story events throughout the game, you can actually do that as well. Quite good. As I mentioned before, you can set up 2. These are mandatory, so you have to set up with 2 perk packs. I gave Scooby-Doo, Escape Artist, and Amateur Detective, which kind of fit. And then you've got basically the descriptions and stuff as well. So that's all a character is, really. It's just a text file with a bunch of graphics linked to it, and that's it. Fairly easy to set one up, and that's all I've really been doing in the game, really, is just setting them up. But most of the time, to be honest, is spent just drawing the graphics for the characters. You can have a lot of fun with it though. Like, I mean, you've seen a couple of my characters already. Actually, you've seen Scooby. Scooby took about 2.5 afternoons to do. Didn't really do too badly with him because I used an illustration for this, so it was actually quite easy to trace around him and get the line art right. Most of it's just determining where to do shading and also how to do some of the additional shit, like the broken nose, the cursed signs and things. Did I give Scooby hunger? Yeah, I did. Hunger! And then there's the Moai as well, which probably took me a bit longer because I was learning to use the program. But the Moai is what you would normally expect. With the Moai, same stuff as usual. Low stamina, hunger, which you don't often see, but I like to use it sometimes. Slit mouth. It's got the different masks which are like bolted to his head. It's a fucking statue, can't really fit the masks on properly, so they just kind of sit on him when you tie him to his head. And so on. But when you're creating characters, you can be pretty creative with how you do things. Yeah, Hunger Moai is great. Yeah. Hunger Moai. There you go. Have some nightmare fuel. But like I said, you can actually be pretty creative with the characters that you set up. As long as you've got a good idea, doing 1-bit pixel art is not too difficult if you learn how to use the package, the program. I said I'm using Aseprite because I treat it very much like a vector drawing program, which is how I can actually draw pretty quickly in it. As long as you've got good base material to use, it's actually pretty good. Yes. Nightmare fuel. I think you can mix up some of this stuff as well, so you can actually use hunger and I think, is it where is it? Cursed signs. Hunger and cursed signs. Looking pretty funny looking. So all of this is actually available, like the different mods that I've made are on Discord, of course. So I know Shrapnel's been testing a couple of them out, so thank you very much. At least I know they work when I've exported them. There have been some like small bugs in like the text file for the character definitions, but that's more just me spelling stuff incorrectly. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different pixel art packages out there, Energy. I used to use Pixen on Mac, but I said when I was looking around, I saw a VTuber called Amir using Aseprite to do PC98 artwork, like PC98 styled artwork. So I went to have a look and see what it was, and I found out it was Aseprite. Found it on Steam. I was like, okay, I'll buy that since it's Mac and PC compatible, and that's all I've been using. And it's actually really good. Like I said, the tools behave very much like Illustrator and Figma and everything else. So it suits me quite well because I do a lot of vector illustration and user interface illustration, which requires like vector drawing tool knowledge. And the line tool, once I actually figured out how the curve tool, for example, works, just getting the line art down was like super quick. I mean, you've just seen me bash out like an entire set of portraits using a photograph as a template. All I did was basically use the line tool, the brush tool, and the fill tool in order to get all of this down. And when I've got some time later this week, I'm going to go through the next few of them to set up the rest of them, and that should be it. I know you can like basically grayscale the photograph and import it into the game that way, but I think doing it this way at least makes it look like it's part of the game. Because I've seen like videos of people doing that, like custom characters just by grayscaling and upping the contrast and then importing it. It looks out of place, but that's just me being a purist. Yeah, Aseprite I think is still free if you compile it, but nowadays you do have to pay to use it. I mean, I paid for it. I paid like about, I think it's like between 12 and 15 pounds. I can't remember how much it was exactly, but for what I use it for now, I think I'm gonna get more than like my money's worth back, because it's pretty fun. Like I was saying at the beginning, it's a pretty fun way of learning how to do pixel art, doing 1-bit artwork, and because you have to learn to use shading in order to create your definitions, your facial and contours and other things like that. And then from there you can start to graduate with like more colors if you want to mess around with it a bit more. But it's been fun actually just messing around with it, like just straight up, because it's a different type of art skill to learn. Like I've certainly enjoyed it. Give him the oh, Scooby. Silly Scoobs. Anyway, time's it. It's coming up to 11. I might just chill out for the rest of the night, actually. Mow my head with a maniacal grin and everything. But I think it's gone pretty well, actually. So I'm not sure if I actually want to like play anything tonight though. Like I think tonight was just going to be a bit of a fun chill stream and at least show off a little bit of the process that I have. There's probably going to be a few more characters in the pipeline after David though, because I've had a couple of ideas while sitting here. Hunger Boy needs to be the new VTuber. Yeah, no problem, Shrapnel. I'll catch you later. I might just crash out and watch Gundam Suisei no Majo, I think, for a little bit, because I haven't actually finished watching that yet. But yeah, it's actually been pretty good. Yeah, I think I'll probably call it there. I'm not going to bother playing anything for tonight. I will definitely look to stream tomorrow after I get back from rugby. It might just be a chill stream, playing something random. I'm gonna send you to, I don't know, Duckfist perhaps? Yeah, I'll send you to Duckfist because I think he's playing the new Star Ocean. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Oh, you finished Gokujo, yeah, good job. It's not a difficult game, you'll probably get it at some point. But yeah, thank you very much for watching everyone, I'll send you to Duckfist, go say hello. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow. If not, I'll see you some other time. But yeah, laters. Good night.